Hey y'all. So, it's been a long time since I've touched my blog or made a vlog or anything, but I've just been completely swamped and busy, especially nowadays when school has started up for me again. And this time it's upper division, and I'm actually going full time, including a few hours of work. So, I've got 5 upper division classes, yay, and there hasn't been any time for me to really do anything lately, I admit. So Petnome's been a little slowed down, and obviously I haven't been tending to my blog. But I've been able to, like, on the side, sneak YouTube videos up, mostly because some of them are pre-made, or I could just easily set it up in about 15 minutes and then head off to sleep while it's processing, and then deal with it in the morning if I need to upload it. So I've been pretty much missing under books, and fortunately they're not spell books, but what are you gonna do, right? It's life. Gotta have a career, especially in a capitalist society, but that's alright. So, I mean, over the new years I've had a lot of events and activities. Basically I had Icy Hot 2, which is like a mini convention for Wizard players, but really there's only two of us that are involved in that, and that's Cassandra Hexthorn and me. So she came over to California, and we spent some time together, and it was wonderful. And so on the topic of Cassandra Hexthorn, she is a totally different person than Cassandra Dragonheart. A lot of people have been confusing Cassandra Dragonheart for Hexthorn, either because people are always seeing Dragonheart and me play together on our team TPC, but they figured someone else with the name Cassandra might also be the same exact person, like as if she was dual boxing. But no, completely two different people, and even they're tired. Both ladies are tired of the mistakes that people have made. But TPC has never had relationships between our group. So if some of you might think that Fallon's, married to Ronan and I'm married to Cassandra Dragonheart, no, not true at all. We're just a bunch of friends that just play together all the time. And probably that's the illusion that we kind of give, since we play together all the time, since we have such strong cohesion. And I don't know, maybe that's just, you can consider us as an entire family. Instead of just who's dating who, basically because of all the work and effort we put into, just establishing and maintaining this team. And if you've seen the question and answers part, or number 3, that goes into detail into what was needed in order to have this kind of bond between all of us. So yeah, I just wanted to make clear that Cassandra Hexthorn and Cassandra Dragonheart, two completely different people, and maybe I'll share a soundbite sometime to show you that these are indeed two different people. Cassandra Hexthorn is a singer, and Cassandra Dragonheart is a snorter. Sorry, Sue. In the community news, at least on my end, I haven't been able to keep up with a lot of items, but over in the Petnome Project, we're currently looking for screenshots of the new talents, and we have a list on our front page right now that shows exactly what we need, because we're actually going through a revamp of the site. And as I mentioned in the Q&A, I think number 2, that Petnome's going international, but right now we have to clean up our site so then it's actually user-friendly and appealing. Right now we're cleaning up the old files and the old pictures and replacing them with the new ones, that way it's a little more uniform. And I did receive a question that I've answered many times before, but I guess I might as well just reiterate it in this vlog, that Petnome Project is about uncovering all the 20 abilities of a pet. So for example, let's say that a new pet has been released, and we don't know what talents are inside of it, and sometimes it might require crowns, sometimes it's a random drop, And so before people really want to make, a financial investment, they usually would like to know what kind of talents are in this pet, especially for those of us who don't have the finances, or, who don't have enough money just to buy a pet whenever we see it. So there are some people out there, though, that have enough resources and can, and maybe they like to collect pets and just, you know, want every single pet in the game, and they can afford that. And so, for those players, they can in a way indirectly help the entire community and even help each other by submitting talents and pictures of these talents to show proof that these exist on this pet. So for example, if someone's looking for a sprightly pet, we have a complete list of all the pets that have sprightly in them. That way, you don't have to search long and far just to find the exact pet, and then be able to breed it into your new design. You actually would know right off, do I have this pet or do I not? And that would give you better understanding of what your chances are for getting sprightly. Whether or not you need to hatch with someone else or actually purchase a pet with that talent on it. You can refer to the Petnome Project for your needs. And so for those people that can't afford those pets, they can purchase them, and then, they're only revealing 8 talents whenever they raise it to epic. And so like a giant jigsaw puzzle, where each of us, when we raise our pets to epic, receive, or at least manifest, a different 8 abilities per pet. If we can put enough pets together, we would be able to decipher exactly what all of those 20 abilities are. So that's what the Petnome Project does. And right now we're trying to, again, revamp the site, because we're using old images, which are the shorter versions. Back when the Petnomes showed both the talents and the derbies on the same page. But after a patch a while ago, we now have to click on either talents or derby and see them individually, and they're a little bit elongated to allow for longer names in the future. And so when we find out those 20 abilities, we can display that on the website, and that'll help everyone past and present. This information does not go away, and we try to keep up to date with it. And so whoever did ask me about that, about what the Petnome Project is, hopefully you see this, and hopefully that is sufficient information. And if you want to understand how to use it, there is a link at the top of the site at petnome.com that shows how to use it. And hopefully that is convenient for a lot of you. And we do take suggestions on the submission forms that we have laying out. And it's just a random topic that I've been meaning to write about. I wanted to emphasize that the mindset that 1v1 determines everything, whether it's skill-based or whatever it is, or pride, I just want to clarify that, no, that doesn't mean everything. And I think the reason why PvP is in a way gone sour for most people is because in 1v1, there's, some players out there have a lot of, ego or pride in what they can do alone, that they assume that if you can't do this without others, then you're meaningless, which I think is a lot of reasons why most people don't enjoy PvP, because when they go in for 1v1 and expect a fun duel, it's gonna be quiet, there's not as many people there, and you're just exchanging cards one by one. But at the end, someone has to say something all the time. The nicest person I know out there, Lady of Blades, has even run into some people who have shot her down verbally. And it just stinks when a lot of people end up quitting because of someone in their ego or their pride in 1v1, trying to shut them down, making them feel like their loss meant something significant. But really, I have to put my foot down on this and say that a loss is not a measurement of your skill level. In fact, it's just an event in time that is the result of current statistics or current factors. For example, let's say it's your first day into Wizard101 and you hop into PvP. Obviously, you're not going to understand anything in the game. You're going to lose in about 30 seconds or so. You know, you wouldn't understand how to use the cards. You don't know how to pick it. You don't understand what these enhancements, you know, like keen eyes, how to use them. And so there's the assumption that this person is a bad player, when in fact they could be very, very smart, but they've never even touched the game that much. Now, that doesn't say much for those who, you know, play often and then hop into PvP and keep losing here and there. But really, you have to consider how much time they've spent in the arena versus their opponent's time. You have to consider the experience they've gone through, you know, how much that they played through 1v1, 2v2, all the way up to 4v4. You have to consider, you know, how much do they practice off the side, or how much do they read, how many videos do they watch, etc. And so, you know, everyone has the ability to be, you know, other warlords basically, and it just really depends how much time they invest or how much they understand. Sometimes IQ has a factor in that, you know, whether you're able to empathize or anticipate what your opponents are going to do. You know, that's a bit of social cognition right there. So, you know, it necessarily doesn't mean that you're a bad player. I think everyone can be a really, really great player, which is the reason why I've emphasized many times that there's no such thing as quote unquote the best out there. But, you know, everyone has the potential to be really great, and it just depends on, you know, your behavior and your attitude in the game, especially, and how you feel after losses. You know, it could always be psychological, but I don't really think that skills necessarily play a huge role. I mean, I believe it plays probably like 30% of it, and a lot of it is really about attitude and sportsmanship. Because if everyone expressed really good sportsmanship, I don't think people would end up quitting. I think people would continue to play. That, you know, this is for the fun of the game. This is not to win or lose, but, you know, it's just to see what kind of dance plays out between players' different cards. So, you know, next time that you do 1v1, just say GG unless you know you have been completely abused in the system or whatever it is. You know, and try to upkeep the sportsmanship. Try to give new players a reason to return in the arena. You know, because I think if we can spread more good sportsmanship around, then more people would be playing, and therefore we would have a bigger PvP community. Right now, the PvE community itself kind of dominates us, because not a lot of people like competition or just just outplaying each other. But I think there's a different degree to what PvP can offer in terms of Wizard101. I mean, if everyone was courteous and respectful, supportive, helpful, and, you know, just plain nice, I think there would be a lot more people out there, and would be a lot more warlords, and fewer people thinking, you know, why can't I reach this level just yet? You know, and it's kind of ironic though, because I think the reason why a lot of people are really quote-unquote good players out there is because of either intimidation. You know, they have motivation to want to beat someone so bad that they practice a lot and finally reach some kind of level where they're enlightened and even better players in terms of experience, which kind of creates a curve then for those who have just started. You know, if they're being measured or rated against someone that has a lot of experience, they're obviously going to feel very far behind, when that's not really the case. You know, again, there's a lot of factors out there. So again, for those of you that have put a lot of meaning or significance into 1v1, you know, please understand that that kind of attitude is hurting the PvP community in terms of, you know, self-worth for other players. Because if they're not winning these battles by themselves, and if it, I mean, to be honest, it's really hard to find a group out there that can 4v4, you know, consistently, then there's not really much chance for those who really do want to try to get to Warlord. I'm not saying everyone has to give up or at least let other people become Warlords. What I am saying is don't put them down for it. Remember, everyone started off as noobs, and we all have our ways of learning. Not everyone learns in the same time or has enough time to practice that much than others. So, if you happen to win or if you happen to lose, and let's say that you're a Warlord and you lose to a private, you know what? No big deal. It doesn't mean that you're worse. There's a lot of factors that could have been in place that affected the outcome of the game. But that's not the point, right? So, for example, they could have gotten lucky, whatever. They had first turn, but it really doesn't matter, right? Because just one match doesn't define everything. Which is why I get really, which is why I feel really amused when a lot of people kind of step up and yell at TPC to do 1v1, as if one entire battle is going to determine everything about a player, when really it comes down to everything that you've experienced in the game itself. And so just be courteous, be nice, give them a good game, and if you see something wrong with their play style, give them some tips, help people out. I think the more that we do this, the less animosity that we'll have. I think we'll see a lot of GGs being exchanged if we helped each other out more. So if you happen to have a fire and you play it very well and you hop on your ice because you want to play something different in the arena, and you see another fire player who either loses against you or whose technique is very sloppy against yours, then offer them a hand at least. And who knows, that'll actually pay it forward in the future, I believe, when you're going to find even more good games, where you're not going to run into people that are down ranking because they're finding it really difficult to rank up, or perhaps they just want the tickets. I think if we can find a lot more good games out there, then there wouldn't be a need to shut each other down or create drama or whatever it is. So hopefully this little message means something, and if it doesn't, oh well, I can't really expect to change or expect changes overnight, but eventually hopefully we'll see a different environment in most of the community in the near future. So anyways, thanks for your time, guys. I've got to head out. Hope you have a great day, and maybe I'll see you in the Spiral. I do, for those that are asking, I usually show up on Fridays or Saturdays, and then nowadays, because of my workloads and homework and everything, I typically don't play on Sundays. It's usually just time to settle down and study after a weekend in the Spiral. So I guess I'll see you guys on the weekends whenever. So anyways, have a great day, and see you later. Peace.